What's up guys, it's Quick and Brick, and today we'll be doing a throwback review on Wally, and it didn't, treads don't work on hardwood. Now this set was part of the Ideas line, and it came out back in 2015 and retailed for $60, and it released in September. But this isn't the set that came out in September. There were actually two versions of this set. So the original set that came out had an error in the set, in that the neck build right here was built incorrectly so that the head would always default to falling back, and that's because it wasn't using a ball joint like the fixed version. So yeah, as you can see, this version has the ball joint. So this is basically version 2 of this set. Yeah, so there were two technically releases of this set, and that ball joint fixed the head and it allows it to pose without falling back. So the main structure of the set is basically this giant yellow box that you build, and it has some curvature on the back, as you can see, but the main build consists of, yeah, the box. And the coloration or the coloring of Wally isn't the most accurate, but Lego doesn't produce a color that gives off that like rusted look that he has. And I prefer this look because it's just colorful and it makes it more appealing to the eye. I think it would have looked choppy if they mismatched a bunch of colors. It would have looked out of place. Now on both sides you have the treads, and they obviously work. Like you could obviously roll them, but like I stated earlier, you can't really roll them on hardwood, and it's much more easier to put it on carpet to roll. And you can see how it works. It's just very simple. Now looking at the back of Wally, you have this curved look to give the illusion that it's rounded, and you could also flip this little hatch up, and if you pull these little exhaust things out and close it back up, you have his little rocket little launchers that he has on the back of him, so he could like fly around in space just like in the movie. So yeah, it's a nice detail that they included, and if you don't want them up, you could just fold them in and they're all hidden. Now on the front of him, you have this big hatch right here with these two prints of this 2x4 and this 2x2 of Wall-E, and you could flip it down and you actually have an inside where you could store anything you want to store. It's not a lot of space, but if you want to, like, I used to store my money in here, and it's a great space to hide stuff like that. And you could close it. And then looking above that, you have the solar charge level, which is also a print, because these older idea sets didn't use stickers. And you have like some of the paneling, and then you also have the build for the cockroach that follows him. And you're supposed to stick it on him like this. And yeah, I think it gives off the illusion well. Now these arms have a few points of rotation. The first one being this ball joint that you can see. And obviously ball joints, you know how they work. You turn them all the way you want. And there's also a Technic beam on the inside. If you see that gap right there, that it's basically a railway that the ball joint runs across, and you can move it forward or back, and that's as far as it goes back. But if you move all the way forward, you can have him like reaching out, or if he wants to be all the way back. And looking at his hands, he has 3 fingers. Each finger has different levels of articulation. And switching to this hand, it's basically the same, except one of the, you get the plant, and you get a place to put the little plant, and you connect it to that little stud right there. So you pop it in, and this is supposed to represent the plant from the movie, and I feel like it would have been cooler if they like made a build for the shoe that it went in, but it's still a nice representation of that scene. And also, this side's the same way, and you can also see some of the inside work with just giving the extra detail, which wasn't necessary, but it really adds to the look of this set. Now to his neck. So his neck, it has a few modes of articulation. As you can see, you have that one, and you could put it all the way up, and then you could bend this one the same way. So if you want him to have a really tall neck, you can do so. I mean, it looks kind of funky. You can also bend it backwards, but the default pose that you want to have him in is you put the first one down, and then you put the back one up, and then you put this down. Now his eyes are also adjustable, so you could bend them like this if you want to change his expression, which is really cool. It's a really cool feature. Like you could just leave them plain straight like this. You could bend one eye. You want one of his eyes crooked, like when he's like rebooting, and some of his eyes are like going like this. You could recreate those scenes. And yeah, so yeah, you could do all the way there. And if you turn it around, you see you also have the exposed wires that connect to his eyes, and they don't get in the way. You can see some of the detail and some of the brown bits. And yeah, and the ideal pose to put him in would be like about right there. Boom. So that's it for this Wally review. Today, this set sells for at least $200. If you want it steal, it would probably be about like $250 to $300. So the set has definitely increased in value. And with the Brickheads Wally, I do see the set getting a remake in the near future, especially with the Disney 100 line, because who doesn't like Wally? Like, it's just a cool set, and I know a lot of people really want this set because it came out at a time when there weren't a lot of Lego collectors, and the Lego space has expanded exponentially since then. So a lot of people missed out on this great set, but I didn't miss out because I bought it day one in 2015. But yeah, so that's it for this video. If you liked it, drop a like. I'd really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, you could subscribe, and that would also help you enter my future giveaways. But yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.